Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny turn red. Can't let that go in my head, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Fox.
Cheers. Terrible time to take a sip.
You had so much time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just did what I did. I have no regrets.
A mouthful.
I make no apologies. In fact, I doubled down. Why didn't you give me more time to sip?
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say to that. And Churchy, of course, in the void.
In the void.
Today, we're going to be talking about our recent adventures to Australia's largest gaming convention.
Size doesn't matter, but it does help.
Of course it helps.
So we traversed all the way up to a place called Canberra, our nation's capital.
Canberra. Yep.
So if you want to hear about what Australia's largest tabletop wargaming convention is like, or just tabletop, I guess, in general, this is the place for you. If you don't, stick around. We've got something great coming up.
Yep.
All right, well, we've got 27 minutes to think of something great for them.
Fantastic. We'll make it. We always do.
We'll figure something out.
Every episode we make is great.
Wow. I love your perspicacity. So what I want to know, Shane, is how long did the drive up take us?
The drive up took us like 8 hours.
Yeah.
We flew up there.
We did.
We drove. But we basically flew.
We might as well.
It was low level flying, that's for sure. I'm saying we had a tailwind. I don't know how cars work, but we got there really quick.
Was that what? How long did it take us? Did you say?
I'm going to say 8 hours.
Yeah, and that's quick, is it?
Yeah, so we stopped for a cannery on the way up.
That's right.
We did a total of 3 shift changes.
Yeah.
So we left. We all regrouped in the morning.
Yep.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
We were on the road by 7:30.
Pretty good.
Did our first swap at Euroa.
Big Magpie.
We didn't see the Big Magpie.
We didn't see the Big Magpie. It was actually the only thing I was excited for about Euroa.
I was like, hey, there's a servo there.
Yeah.
Let's just stop there.
Good enough.
If you had said there was a Big Magpie, we could have swung past.
I did say there was a Big Magpie.
When?
Twice.
I didn't hear it.
You weren't listening to me. That's not my fault.
Well, I mean, that's not my fault either.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we stopped at Euroa. So shift changed, and you jumped in the seat.
The only reason I think we didn't get a feed at Euroa too is because last year we came through, we found a nice little pub, and then they sold us the Euroa burger.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, we got to have that. It's only from here. It's just a chicken burger.
It was just a stock standard burger.
Yeah, it was. I don't understand what they did that they thought was unique or anything. It's like, oh, it's just a cheeseburger or a chicken burger. Can't quite remember.
It was assembled in Euroa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I guess these are Lara shoes. So I'm wearing them in Lara.
Yep. That's facts.
So this time we did a quick stop and flew on through because Euroa, outside of the Big Magpie, which I guess the lads didn't want to see, there's nothing going on.
Well, it was 9:32 by the time we got there. So
fair.
We broke the drive up into 2-hour stints. You jumped in, then we booted right through to Tabletop.
That's one of our favourite places to visit. Yeah,
went to the Edinburgh pub. It was open this time. Last time we went there, it was all locked up, and we were sort of peering in through the windows, like peeping toms.
And this place is unique.
Oh yeah, it's straight out of like some kind of cartoon from the 80s or something.
The pub's on it's a Looney Tunes pub.
Yeah, it is a Looney
Tunes
Tunes
pub.
pub.
It's on a lean.
Yeah.
It's lopsided.
Yeah.
It's a reverse trapezoid.
But it was built like that.
Yeah.
It's not just falling apart.
Yeah. It's got 2 stories that you can walk up to the second one if you want to go past the wasp nest. That's on you. But yeah, last time we looked inside and it was like this old, like Western style tavern almost.
Yeah. It had the bi-swing doors.
Yeah, there's ones that the people always push open aggressively.
Kick them open and the whole pub goes quiet.
And then they sit down and the barkeep looks to them and he's like, "You're not from around here, are you?"
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Although the bloke behind the bar was much more welcoming.
Yes, he was.
He actually was talking so much that we're kind of like, he's like, okay, so we haven't got tap beer here, but you can get it from over there.
We're out of here then.
And we're like, cool, all right, we'll go get some. And he kept talking, and we're kind of like walking our way out the door, but the guy kept talking to us.
After he said the tap beers are inside, we all sort of we were like, oh, okay, cool. Turned our heads to sort of go over there. It was like, so what are you boys up to this weekend? It's like, going over to get some tap beer.
Yeah, if you let us.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a Sun's got some bite to it.
It's a bit of a dry heat, though.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. It's not so bad. Bit parched, though. Could really go with a tap beer. You guys come down here much? It's a lot of that. So we finally escaped his whatever kind of spell he used, D&D style spell.
Yeah.
Grip someone.
Some kind of like chains of binding or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then we went across and we got a countery, got some food, a beer, and we jumped back in the car, powered on through, another 2 hours. Rory drove from there.
Yeah. And so...
White knuckled the whole time. Nah, I'm kidding. Wasn't that bad.
It was a good cruise up. We made good time. We dropped all of our stuff off at the motel, which was across the road from the venue, basically.
Yep.
And then, as was the plan from like yesteryear, we went straight to the old Canberra Inn.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is my favourite part of the entire weekend, spoiler alert, was
the first night.
the first night.
Yeah.
We go for a long drive. We've got a whole weekend.
Hey, you missed the dog on the tucker box.
Oh, yeah, we stopped at the dog in the tucker box. Yeah. And so you got the whole weekend.
That was my favourite part.
Okay.
Seeing the dog on the tucker box.
It was good. It's a statue of a dog sitting on a tucker box.
Yep.
But it definitely looked like they tried to gentrify the space.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it used to be just that dog and a statue and that dingy little shop behind it.
Yep.
And that part's cool, but then like...
There's an Oliver's there.
They've just parked a big old green, massive Oliver's and new car park there and a brand new servo.
Oh, you could still smell the paint. That joint was fresh.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a weird juxtaposition of having like the massive new conglomerates next door.
Yep.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yep.
And so we got there, we went to the old Canberra Inn. And we'd sort of invited a few people.
Yeah, a bit of an open invitation. We just chucked it out there, whoever wants to show up. And boy, did they show up.
That's right. We were like 6 p.m. I mean, we were there from like 5 drinking.
Yeah, we got there real early. We got there because we flew there, dude.
Yeah, we flew there.
We had a tailwind.
With the tailwind, low flying in a vehicle with 4 wheels and no wings. We flew there.
Yep.
And we were thirsty.
Yep.
So we began munching on some beers.
Yeah.
And, it's not our fault. They had happy hour as well.
Oh, that was so
$7
good.
schooners.
And $10 wings.
Yeah, and we got some wings.
Didn't we? Yeah.
Got some buffalo wings, which was good.
But how good was that, though? Like, people just kept rolling in, and, like, there was a few changes as well. Like, some people dipped, more people rocked up.
Yeah.
But I think at one point, the table was full.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
12 people, chock-a-block.
That's right.
We had about 16 different folks coming through.
Crazy too.
Yeah.
It was like there was Hobby Homies, but there was also Nick from War Surge.
Yeah.
There was Luke and his comrade.
Scotty, I think his name was.
Yep.
From Fjord Serpents.
That's right.
Yep.
And then we had the Medbury gang.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Medbury, Mrs. Medbury, and Eli.
Yeah.
Their help.
We had Tiger Claw come in. Oh, yeah. And a heap of other homies. It was just a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was cool because people started moving around towards the end, but it was also cool seeing people chat who wouldn't have otherwise ever sat at a table together.
There was one point where Luke, Nick, and Andrew Medbury were like deep in discussion, and I glanced over. I'm like, oh, okay, that's corporate over there.
Yeah, that's
like,
networking.
That is. Yeah. They're forming business relationships.
Great deals, the best deals.
Yeah. I'm like, yep, okay. Back to what are we talking about over here? Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Back to our common banter.
Sun's got some bite to it.
Yeah. Sun's going down a bit. What, it must be 8:30 or something. Yeah. A lot of that. It was great. It was awesome. I don't know what we were there to, like 11?
We were about there till, about 11, Our legendary Dezo, which is designated driver to those outside of Australia.
Yeah.
Gritty. Dropped off Rory, who had several beers.
Yeah.
And Nathan, who was frantically painting before his tournament the next day.
That's right. I forgot about that. But they had to go early. Yeah.
Yeah, he sacrificed like 4 hours of paint time to come and have beers with us.
Nathan's a legend.
He is a legend.
I'd never met him before, but that was Gritty, one of our patrons, but one of our mates.
Yeah.
One of our homies.
Yeah.
Brought Nathan down. They drove down together. And so Nathan was playing in an Age of Sigmar tournament.
Yeah.
And he was like, he said to us when we rocked up to the motel, I need a finish painting these tonight. But he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
It was like 4:00 or something at that stage, and he was
I think it was like, we'll come down for a beer.
yeah, that's it.
Several later.
Yeah. 3 or 4 beers, 3 or 4 schooners later.
Yeah.
He was like, Struth, I guess I better get back and paint some
I could
minis.
just imagine him just
Yeah.
painting just like this, like.
Would have been tired as long day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gritty was clutch that weekend because anytime we had beers, we just didn't have to worry about
Yeah.
anything.
He's doing a bit of a detox.
Yeah.
He said to me today, he's like, maybe I should have had some beers. And I was like,
Nah,
don't worry about it, dude. Like, it wasn't going to add or subtract from the fun. It was still just a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Like you said, just people coming in and going, but the table was always full, different faces.
Yeah.
People that we only know. Every single person there except for Rory, we only know because of the podcast.
Right. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
That is wild. To meet such incredible people throughout the whole weekend too, not just at the Canberra Inn.
Yeah.
But it is the place to be. There's so many awesome people that we've met because of this.
Yeah.
Which is, it's such a surreal feeling, like doesn't matter how many times, like people like Lundy, like absolute legends for the community, the hobby community. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It was amazing. So that was my favorite part. But that wasn't even CanCon.
No, that's the night before.
Yeah.
And I remember going to bed and I'm just like I usually like to just smash a heap of water before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
You wake up needing to go to the loo about 3 times, but in the morning you're usually not like, getting kicked in the head.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. I had like half a bottle and I was like, oh, I'm going to regret this. But I woke up feeling good.
Tip top.
Like feeling real good. Had a bit of a sleep in because I'm on long service leave, so why not? So about 7 o'clock, I think I was getting up.
Yeah.
Not long. I heard you sneak out, and then maybe like 15 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, I should probably get up.
Yeah, well, the farmer's market opened at 6 and you sleepyheads were all just...
You should just kick the bed on your way out. I would have been straight up.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine, because it was such a short walk, so I went across to the farmer's market, which is sort of behind CanCon. Just checked it out. I love watching them set up stalls and stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So when I woke up at 5 or something, I was like, do I go back to sleep? I'm like, no. At 5:30, I'll mosey on out.
Yeah.
By the time I get there, I'll get to watch all the stalls set up. I don't know why that's cool to me. It's weird.
Yeah.
Strange. But yeah, anyways, so we did that. I did that. Then you guys met me there, or I came back halfway? I can't quite remember.
You came back. You came back all the way, and then we walked back over there again.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I forgot the cards to give to Luke, so you walked back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow. I did some steps that day.
You did, yeah. But no, it was cool. The hotel was, or the motel was interesting. It was, there's a bunk.
Bates Motel was 1950s, knife under the bed.
It kind of looked like the dodgy motels, but it was fine. It was good. It was great.
It was just filled with other CanCon goers.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you see people and you're like, you look like a nerd. I wonder if you play Warhammer or tabletop games.
Yeah.
You didn't have to think. You knew.
Yeah. You
when that guy definitely plays miniatures.
You walk past him, you hear, no, it's AP2. But that's the thing is, like, if you take it against the neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is CanCon
Yep.
accommodation here.
Yep.
So now we get to Australia's biggest wargaming event, tabletop event.
Yep.
Break it down to someone as if they're just walking through the doors of, first of all, which doors?
Yeah, there's so many doors. There's so many different buildings,
Yeah.
right? You need a map. Get a map. If you ever go, get a map. They change it up every year too, so get an updated map. So the trade hall, right? That's where I would suggest you start.
Because it's like a showground and it has all these different buildings.
But it's an old showground. Like it's not like our where we have PAX, right? It's Flash U-Butte Melbourne Exhibition Centre.
Yeah.
This joint's pretty old, but it's got several buildings, a couple that are connected. But then there's sort of one over here, which is like the bring and buy, one over there, which is like the RPGs, or the second Traders Hall, which was wild as well. There was 2 Traders Hall this year, which was cool. And then a whole gymnasium, which was the tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
That was like a double basketball court.
There's 2 of those.
Yeah.
One connected to the trade hall.
Yep.
Where there's like a walkway, gangplank through, and even there's trade stands in there.
There was,
so you got a massive trade hall, wall-to-wall trade, with a little big board games library in there.
Massive.
You walk through a gangplank with more trade halls and a little offshoot room, which is like
card games.
And and then you walk through to the Kurong building, I think it is.
Yeah.
Which is, like you said, a massive gymnasium of people playing games. But then there's another copy and paste of that big gymnasium just down the road a little bit.
Yeah, past all like there's a section where like there was some parking, and then there was like a bunch of food trucks.
Yeah.
There's like a Mr. Whippy van, a pizza truck.
Yeah.
Some like gyros or like souvlaki's or something.
Potatoes on a stick.
I think there was potatoes on a stick.
Classic.
And then you get to this other building that was again just copy paste chocolate block. Far out, man. 100 tables in there of games, probably more.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon each room probably had 200 tables each.
Yeah.
Each building, I would say. And that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So if you're playing in a tournament, that's almost all you see.
Yeah.
It's like for 3 days, you're just playing games.
Far out, man. I don't know how you could do it. Like, I feel like they need to shake it up a little bit because you miss too much of CanCon. If you're there, I mean, obviously, if you're there to play games, you're cool. You do you.
Yeah.
For me, I'd be like, nah, I want to see some other stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I reckon you need to, like, shorten the, like, maybe 3 games on the first day is a bit much.
Yeah.
But then that's most 2 days, right? It's like 3 and 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know how you change it. That's up to them to decide. But, like, we were there to experience CanCon as a whole. We definitely did.
Yeah, it feels like we did. I guess the only difference is, as a whole, might include playing a game at CanCon,
Fair.
I suppose.
That's fair.
But, yeah, honestly, it's just, I guess, not our scene, but I couldn't think of anything worse than spending the whole day in a hot...
Yep.
It wasn't too bad, apparently. And, like, walking through it, you didn't really think far out. It's so hard to nip
Yeah, nah. It was loud, though.
when you're in there for 8 hours a day, the noise,
Yep.
which you probably drown out over time.
Yeah.
I guess it probably depends on a few things. It probably depends if you don't care about the trade hall.
Yeah.
Like you just don't find that kind of thing interesting. Like we would do 20 laps.
Yeah. And you see something new every time.
Yeah, you don't buy a thing, but you see cool stuff. You talk to people that made these cool things, people that love these cool things that they have.
Yep.
That's cool. But if you don't like that, I mean, I guess spending a whole day playing games is kind of cool, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you're right. Like the thing that shocked me this year that I didn't realize was I thought there was 3 full days of CanCon.
Nah.
But the trade hall closes on the 3rd day.
Yep. At like
About
lunchtime. Yeah.
So even the people that did tournaments, like
Yeah.
I thought they'd be open that full day so that tournaments finish up. Let's say they finished up midday Monday or whatever.
Yep.
Then people could have a half day where they all finally get to go across and check out the trade hall.
Yeah. Yeah. But that would be good. But I guess, by the end of it, they just want everyone out.
Yeah.
And everyone probably wants to get out, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was us.
Yeah.
We were done by the 3rd day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they walk in the trade hall. What do they see, Shane?
First, they see the games library.
Yeah.
Like, you can't miss it. It is just, it's a sectioned off area with just an absolute shit ton of tables where you can get your group, hire games, board games, play board games. Next to that's is the good games stall.
Just on that library, pause. What is cool is you can actually go into the library and have a look at all the games that are currently available.
Yeah, sure.
Take one to the counter and then buy your ticket.
Okay.
That's a nice tweak because it's $22 per person.
Oh, it's too much. I'm sorry, it's too much.
And that's why we didn't play a game because if there's 4 of you, you guys collectively are just throwing away. Let's say there's 5 of you.
Yeah.
Easier maths.
$100.
$110.
Yeah.
You could just go and buy any board game.
From any shop there.
Take it back to wherever you're staying and play it there.
Yeah.
Own that game.
Yeah, and then take it home with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or take it to the trade stall, the buy, sell, swap. And
get $50 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have played it for less. So,
yeah.
I mean, I get there's probably like, I suppose the good thing is if you did that and spent a full day in the games library.
Yeah.
Or like 6 hours.
Yeah.
You could play 2 or 3 games that you're not sure about buying.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a group, but I don't know. But then you're learning. I don't know.
That's the thing, right? Are you going to spend that time learning the game as well? Or are you going to, like, do your best to learn it at home
Yeah.
or via old Rodney on Watch It Play.
Yeah.
And then try and learn it there, or are you going to play something that you already know? Which why would you? Because you could just play it at home.
Yeah, and I would suggest to them to drop the price to like $10 a person, but
Or group rates.
yeah,
Like maybe I don't know. Like $22 a head is just way too much. I'm
having
sorry,
said
but
that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Strongly agree with you. But capitalism reigned supreme, and that thing was booked out.
it was, wasn't it? There was a lot of people
full.
in there.
So if you're looking at that as a person being like, do we want this much money or half this much money?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yep.
Maybe they could figure out like off-peak times where it's not as full, and I don't know, think of something. But maybe that's not worth it either for them,
Maybe not.
because maybe then the games get played so much that they have to replace them. I don't know. I don't know about all that, but it's not for us. It's just too much. If we're gonna spend $22, that's 3 pints. Sorry, that's 3 schooners in happy hour at Canberra Inn.
Yeah.
I'll take that, please.
Yes, absolutely. Or 2 plates of chicken wings.
Yeah. Yeah, the chicken wings were amazing.
They were good. So next to the games library was the Good Games store.
Yeah.
And that was just like wall to wall. It had walls for a while there was those mystery boxes around it.
It uses the board games as the walls, basically.
Yeah.
They pile them up so high.
Yep. What do you reckon about that? Did you go through there much?
Oh, yeah, probably 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to see it all because there's always so many people in there. It's kind of like the draw. It's a big draw card for CanCon.
Yeah.
Because board games are so accessible. It doesn't matter what type of tabletop gamer you are.
Yeah.
Most of them appreciate board games.
Yeah.
And Good Games had all the board games on for show. So
There was definitely people in there that you're like, oh, you're normal. You're only here for the Good Game stand.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep, you can tell when they're sort of like shiftily looking around. They beeline it for the thing.
Yep.
They smell good. They've just had a shower. They're in a button up. They're ready to go.
Yep.
They're going to grab a board game and then go have brunch with their friends, with their real friends.
Definitely.
In person.
One thing that was cool at the Good Games stand. Sorry, I'm like, is that what it's called?
Are you okay?
I kept the whole weekend. I'm like Gap Games and Good Games.
All right.
Because they were both there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Good Games stand. Was that like the dearest thing there was $80?
Yeah, it's good. And they have stickers. It's a nice,
Yeah.
easy system.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, red sticker is $30 or whatever it is. So you see a red sticker, you're like, ooh, that's nice. I know what
Yep.
that is. So yeah, it's cool. It's just board games, but there's also like tabletop stuff,
Yeah.
like Shatterpoint and Legion boxes and things like that. And most of it was like really well priced. There's a few things you pick up and you go, oh, $10 off. I mean,
If it was the next sticker down, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good, and you just keep going through because it's so busy in there. They keep it topped up. They have pallets that they bring in.
Oh, they're ripping them open and unpacking them while people are like
Over their
pushing
shoulder.
through, trying to
Yeah.
like sift
What you got in that
through.
box?
Yeah.
And that's why it's fun going back because you're like, I don't know what they've stocked it back in here since I was here last.
Yep.
So yeah, it's cool. And then all around those two things, I guess, make up the center almost, especially the Good Games stall. And then all around the peripherals of the center is all the different trades.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff there for like cosplayers and war games and not war games, sorry, RPGs.
Yeah. Yep.
Things like that. There are a few 3D printer stalls and miscellaneous hobby tools stalls. But the main strip that we hit.
Oh, that back corner, man.
Yeah.
Back corner.
You're walking towards the back corner. You've got Fjord Serpents on your left.
Yep.
Ran by Luke, who just had all of his new stock in. And
That was so cool to see a shelf full of actual product on the shelf.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was so cool.
it was, it's funny because it feels like an eternity since we've been aware of Fjord Serpents, but it marked a year.
Yeah.
we first
We had
played
a
it.
demo game there last year.
Exactly.
Yep.
And now it's become us.
Yep.
We have become Viking. And then you walk past on your left again after that is like Keen Magpie,
Yeah. Yep.
which is a really cool store doing like MDF terrain. And
Yep.
I was supposed to, I completely forgot about it, but I was supposed to pick up one of their cool MDF like carry storage crates.
Yeah. I saw those. Like, there's one there for
$40.
card games.
Yeah.
And I was going to get that for Caitlin and a Lacana set.
Yeah,
But
nice.
whiffed on that.
Yeah, I just like that $40 you get like a decent sized box and
Yep.
it comes with the metal plate
Yep.
that you glue to the bottom So then you just magnetize your minis and slap them in
Oh,
there.
I didn't see those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
right.
were $40.
Wow.
They're about this big. It's like probably 30 centimeters by 15 centimeters.
Yeah. So in freedom units, please.
1 Kinkle by 8 Smorkup
Ah,
Sporks.
cool. 8.
Yeah.
8 schmorkles.
Why are you saying it so weird, dude? it's 9 bullets. It's 5.56 rounds.
Ah, of course. NATO rounds?
By 1 football.
What do you mean NATO rounds?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you said freedom units. It's 1 NSA officer's hat by 1 presidential candidate.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they were cool. Then next to them was War Surge.
Yep.
So it was cool to see them. They had their books there on the shelf as well.
That looks great.
Another cool thing we've seen come full circle from an app that was, we got a random email from these guys once upon a time, say, hey, check our app out, to a massive Kickstarter that just smashed its goal by $100,000.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
Which is a lot of money down here for us.
Yeah, that's some big cash.
Yeah.
It's a big dollary dues.
So in freedom units, I guess that's like, I don't know, 400 USD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then over on your right, after that, you've got Medbury Miniatures.
Yeah.
himself,
Yep.
making all of his cool stuff. The painted displays are incredible.
Oh, unreal.
There was new stuff. New plastic kits for some of the horses, some cavalry, which is a big step to go from metal minis to inject. What is it?
Plastic injection molded.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Put injections in. Oh, I don't like needles. Yeah.
Yep. And then next to him was like the war library with all his cool stuff, individual frames of whatever you want, basically. And then the Mac.
Oh,
Mac 15, which you just jumped right into.
I was like a swimming pool, and I was like a fish.
Yep.
Who died instantly when I hit the chlorine.
Slave to Gaming, making these awesome metal minis of all different scales. They've got a bunch of 15mm stuff. They've also got like a few abstract 28mm stuff, like some like Undead Samurai, which is so awesome, by the way.
Yeah, they got some very cool stuff there.
Elvis impersonator fantasy football team, which I guess you could use for like Blood Bowl or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just like randoms, and you're just like looking at it, it's like, I need this.
Yeah, it was so cool because it was like, we were even talking about it, how it's like, all right, you could go to Medbury and get some Dark Ages or like fantasy stuff.
Yep.
And then you could take those miniatures and play War Surge with them.
Yeah.
Or you could go over to Luke and get Vikings and play Fjord Serpents with them. Or you could even he's working on a new game called Blade Wrath.
Yep.
So you could get some of the Vikings that you just got across from Medbury.
From Medbury, go play Blade Wrath. Yeah.
Or you could go across to the other place and get some sci-fi or random miniatures that you thought looked cool from Slave to Gaming, and then go play War Surge with them. And it's just like this cool little corner of, first of all, and if you need terrain, there's Keen Magpie there for terrain.
Yep.
And it's like this cool corner of Australian indie creators just every year building their product up. And it's just becoming like kind of a really cool scene.
Yep.
There are a few things that come out of Australia that do really well internationally.
Yep.
We do clothes and creative stuff really well, especially like Sunny Coast when I was up there.
Yeah.
It was awesome when I worked in fashion
Yeah.
to see how well Australians did. But we also slake coffee.
Yeah.
That's another thing we do really well. And it just has that kind of same vibe that people up on the coast, Sydney upwards as well.
Yep.
But also some boys down in Warrnambool.
Yeah.
Just some really cool stuff coming out of Australia for tabletop gaming.
Yep.
And actually it's sort of starting to percolate and extend beyond
Absolutely.
just being, what is it called? Homogenous and stuck in Australia.
Yeah. Like, we are miles away from everywhere else. And that was so clear to me today when I was chatting to Keenan from Bripcrypt. He's sending me some stuff, and he sent a screenshot of like the postal thing where it's got like, here's where it's starting and here's where your item's finishing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, wow. He's like, you are so far south.
Yeah, we couldn't be further south.
Yeah.
Not just the big ocean between us, but also the entire continent we're on is also between us. No matter where you're from, it's usually between us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is difficult. It immediately puts like a big barrier up for Australian designers and creators trying to profit off this so that they can continue doing it full time. That's difficult because the second you have to ship something internationally, you can price yourself out of having a product that they're interested in.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see all these people. And I like what creators are doing where it's like, okay, well, I run a Kickstarter. I get that fulfills all the international people. The rest comes to me. I sell that in Australia. And then when I'm ready to do an expansion next year, I do another Kickstarter, send it out. I like that yearly rotation that we kind of have to do.
Yeah.
I'm usually against already established people abusing the Kickstarter system.
Oh, when like a cool mini or not use it, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Far out.
When a creator's like, I cannot send this internationally cost effectively unless I do bulk orders, and Kickstarter's the funnel for that. So yeah, it's really cool. CanCon was really awesome. Just like going through all these trade stalls that were almost all entirely either indie designers or indie creators or Australian little stalls and stores that were stocking their own stuff. A few bigger stores that were still Australian. Yeah. It's just cool. It's just really cool.
It's awesome.
It didn't feel like it had been over commercialized or...
Not at all.
It just felt... Especially that wing where you're just walking down and you're like, hey, it's Luke from Fjord Serpent.
There's so many familiar faces
that
we've
know
seen.
a year ago.
Yeah. We haven't even touched on half of it really. Like there's the whole bring and buy section where there's like secondhand items that are for sale. Every day the price can drop.
Yeah.
So people might bring in their whatever, and it's like day one it's $100. Day two it's $60. Day three it's $40.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's still there, if you're hanging out for day three and it's still there, you got a bargain.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're like far out at $100. It's still a good value. I'll just get it now.
And it's tricky because like that's the fun part about the buy and swap.
Yeah.
What is it
bring
called?
and buy, they call it. Yeah.
That's right. Because you look at it on day two and you're like, oh, that's a bit much. But if it's still there tomorrow, that's a pretty good price. However, then you got to hope you're the first person to grab it tomorrow. So like, do I pay the premium to actually just get it? And some stuff there was priced really well and you're happy, you like it and you're happy and you're looking for it, you take it. And some stuff you're like, this is like the same price as like a store that's selling it at 20% off.
Yeah. We were playing a bit of a game where it's like who can find the most outrageous prices.
Oh, we're finding stuff above retail and things like that. Whereas when we have gone to like buy sell swaps in the past, it's people are actually trying to get rid of this stuff. It's like box of Space Marines, some of them kind of built, $30.
Not 80.
Not 80. And then 70 on the second day and 60 on the third.
Nah.
None of that. So
people were just like, buy me a beer at the pub later on. You can just have it.
Overall, I'd say the pricing in that place was pretty disappointing. But that's also possibly because, you know, the real good stuff is probably taken by the people that volunteer there, and fair enough, that's payment. They
do so many hours, 12 hours a day, every day, and it's like all the work prior to it. And they don't set the prices, right?
They don't, no.
It's you and I, whoever's selling stuff there, that are like the ones that are just dreaming.
Yeah, that's it. And so, fair enough, they take it, and then they have like an early access. Like it's an hour that you buy a $25 ticket. So that the leftover really good stuff is taken by those people who care enough to spend $25 to get in there early. They're coming in with a couple grand and they're buying the best things. And then there's us plebs that's, you know, we're just looking for the leftovers.
Picking through the scraps.
And we found some good stuff. I got the board game expansions that have been holding us back for years.
Dead of Winter. That's so good. That was when you showed me that from across the room, and I'm just like, yes. And you're like $40, and I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Because you can't get that expansion, and you need that expansion to play the other expansion. And I actually found the other expansion first, and that was $40, and I was like, oh well, we're gonna get this eventually. So everywhere it's 100, I'll grab that, and then I'm like, you know what? Now I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the long night. And I found it for $30. So I got both of them for the half of the price that the long night originally cost. And I was stoked. And I was on my way walking out. I saw some World War II minis. They had some Russian like what was it, like a
heavy
mortar
weapons
and heavy weapons basically. And I was like, perfect. Some more support for my chain of command army because you don't get many support in the box that I got. Just lots of infantry.
It
so
is Russian.
like, perfect. So I grabbed those. Those were cheap, and then that was basically it. So, and you grabbed some cool stuff as well.
Yeah, I got some cool stuff. I found the Walking Dead All Out War board game, which was discontinued a while ago.
Yeah.
I missed like the reprint,
Yeah, okay.
which I think I kind of assumed it was going to be like, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was just like here's another chance to get it, and I've whiffed on it so hard.
Yeah.
So I found that in shrimp for $50.
That's so good.
There was an expansion there for Father Gabriel.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll grab him too. $15. Comes with little Carl with like a AR, like an AR-15. I'm like,
awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I got that. Got
Cool.
like a 6th edition 40k rule book to add to the collection.
Yep. Because why not?
Because why not? And a bunch of other little random orcs and stuff like that. I was talking to Lundy and I said that at Moab I found like Ugluk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, some more orcs would be kind of cool, but I think I missed them all. And he's like, here's some like orcs with bows for $6. And I'm just like, legend.
Say less, Lundy.
Yeah.
Say less.
Yeah.
I'm glad Gritty didn't get him fired. So
We don't know yet. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
Should message him.
Our friend Gritty was like, so there's all these volunteers sitting at the stalls, and they just you walk up and pay for your stuff and leave. And Gritty went up and he loudly said, basically in earshot of everyone, he's like, can I go see Lundy? He gives me good deals. It's obviously a big no. You can't do deals with your mates.
Yeah, he's like, sometimes he forgets to scan stuff.
Yeah.
And then Gritty goes, we call it doing a Lundy.
Doing a Lundy, yeah.
And then to top it off, he didn't see Lundy, he saw someone else, and he goes, hey, can you do a Lundy
Can you
for
do
me?
me a Lundy? It's like buy two, get the third free. So, and then we didn't hear from Lundy after that, so the rumors might be true. But yeah, so it was a good weekend. We got some stuff. What was your biggest takeaway from the weekend? Did you leave thinking, I'm really excited to start doing this because of CanCon, or?
Yeah, I felt my hobby mojo reinvigorated from
nice.
from CanCon. I've been in a bit of a hobby slump lately. Haven't done much. So got home, built some little Shermans for tanks for the apocalypse that will hit sooner or later, and just getting back into it. But all in all, it was just a grouse weekend with the boys.
Yeah.
Like, like the adventures that we had, the people that we saw, like we got to catch up with like Kane, Jack, Jules, Nat, and just like at MJ, just a bunch of legends.
Yeah, Vumu and Vumu's brother
Vumu,
Chris.
Craig. And just like it was just awesome. And like we went and saw like a drone show that they did for Australia Day down near the lake, and we're driving back, and like this dude like puts his window down next to us, and he goes, yeah, he's like, oh look, I love the chalk on the back of the ute, because we had like a painting wrote Hobby Homies CanCon crew on the back of the car
on the wagon. Yeah.
There was so many moments that were just awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Rory hiring one of those scooters, driving it for about 2 minutes and ditching it.
Dude, it's 50 cents a minute.
Yeah, I know. I gotta save money. Having pepper lunch, and all the food that we had was incredible.
yeah.
That little barbecue place we went to.
Yeah.
Japanese place that we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weekend of food, fun, friends, beers, and tabletop games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment of CanCon and the weekend itself?
Well, my favorite moment was beers on the Friday night.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I tried so hard to get back to the Canberra, and I was like, what about tonight, guys? And you're like, you know what? Maybe let's give it a rest, and maybe tomorrow night. I was like, all right, tomorrow night, locked in, let's do it. And tomorrow night, it's like, well, we actually could do barbecue. I was like, okay, it's still time tomorrow. And then we ended up leaving a day early, so it was like,
yeah,
that's all right. We had a beer on the way home at the Ettamogga.
We did.
So that was good.
We did. We stopped. We did the same pit stops on the way home, and just before dinner time, we rolled in and had a beer, and it was still beautiful afternoon.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, my biggest takeaways were I'm excited for Luke. I'm excited for our Kickstarter or our Indiegogo for Fjords Opens is arriving tomorrow.
Oh wow!
So that's awesome.
Sick.
That's cool.
Yep.
Excited for that. Excited for what he's doing with his other game.
Yep.
Sounds awesome.
Yep.
I'm excited for some stuff that Medbury's working on.
Yeah.
And some stuff that he's been working on with us.
Yeah.
So
keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm also excited for, like, I bought into a new game, that Mackin 15
Yeah.
millimeter. So I've put all of those onto little paddle pop sticks today.
Nice.
I've cleaned them all up. They're all ready for like a good airbrushing.
Yeah.
So I'll speed paint those up and we'll see what that game's all about.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just excited for what this year of games looks. Tanks for the Apocalypse. I also got some M4s.
Yeah, you got some good Shermans too. Yeah, yep.
So I've been looking like on my mini factory for like little bits that we can shrink down and I can put onto them.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just trying to figure out what I want my tank to look like.
Hey, Rory gave me that resin printer so we can
Yeah, I saw that.
start cranking out some...
That looks like a relic.
It probably is.
It's, I think, one of the first ever. Ever.
Fantastic. We have history.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was great to walk through the halls and see people playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a good weekend of games. If you want to know more about CanCon, we didn't cover everything. If you have any questions about our adventures there, let us know in the comments or in the Discord.
Yeah, jump in the Discord too, hobbyhomies.com. You can find a link to that.
Yeah.
If you're at CanCon and you missed us, next year, let us know.
Yeah, we'll be there indefinitely.
We'll be there. Yep.
And the invite's always open to come have a beer at the Canberra Inn with us.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on the first night.
The first night
Yeah.
before.
Night before.
The night before.
Yeah, that's right. Before it all kicks off. So
Yeah.
you can show up with a hangover for your first ever CanCon experience.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
man.
Thank you all so much. Hey, we got a Patreon. That's where we know all these people from.
Yeah.
If they pay us, we will be their friends.
We will hang out with them.
You know, it's funny because historically...
Sometimes you pay them to hang out.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say, for most of our lives, we pay people to be our friends.
Yeah.
But this time, the turns have tabled.
Now you have the honor.
So for as little as $2 a month, you can get early access to videos like this. You can get cool Discord roles, all other kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah, you can be one of these legends with a name on the board. Legendary like MJ, Moose, Fatboy, and Tom. Real one, that's you, Numa.
Thanks, Numa.
The Goats, Burnsy, Fire Dinosaur, Hockers, Gridlock, Journeyman, Matty, Matt.
We got the OGs, Darren M, Souls, IU Warrior, Churchy, Rad, Ollie, Penny, Don Juan Don, Pure Blind, Jackson V, Mini Warmer, Analog Line, Tim Smith, Chris P, Bacon, and Big
Roach.
Thank you, Chris, for joining. That's amazing. It was great meeting you. It was great hanging out with you. You and Vumu are those kinds of people where you're just so easy.
Oh, yeah.
You're so easy to hang around, get along with. You got good heads on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Handsome heads on your shoulders. That helps.
Yeah.
Eye candy's always good.
Absolutely. And you know what? You can look at them and you're like, you are brothers. Like, it's just like the mailman definitely didn't slip one in while your old man was away because you two are both brothers.
Yeah, you are brothers.
You are brothers. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. Hope to chat to you all in the Discord, and we'll see you all next week.
Root.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny turn red. Can't let that go in my head, war gaming.